checkered board cutting board with 3 different wood species today. It's going to be walnut, cherry, and maple. The walnut that I have is absolutely gorgeous, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to make my cutting board about 13 inches long, because that's a good size. But it's also going to get cut down one more time, and the saw blade takes away a lot of wood material, so I'm going to have to make it like 1.5 inches longer. But my problem right now is there's a little gouge right here, which isn't a big deal because that'll get planed out. But then there's this dot, so I'm going to have to assess the fact that, I don't know, I might have to take this out. Or I might just not use that side. I might have, let's see, I have 15 inches, so we should be fine. I'm going to make sure that's all square. And I'm going to cut them all to 15 inches. That's nice and square. So that side is good. And yeah. Alright, so now that I got my walnut, maple, and cherry all cut up, I'm going to go to the table saw and cut it probably about 5.5 inch boards. So I'm going to cut it a little bit less than 1 inch. And then, yeah, let's get to that.
Soundstripe.
Alright, so now that I have all my pieces cut up, we're going to have to glue them together, but it can't be any wider than 13 inches. So this is probably close. Okay, so yeah, let's see. Let's try with 15. Okay, so that's actually exactly 13 inches. So, we're going to flip it on the edge grain. 3/4. Like that. We're going to figure out a pattern that we want. It has to be the same pattern but repeating. $11.5 almost, so yeah, we're solid. Now, I don't know if I want that piece of walnut, because take one of all these that I don't like. I'm going to select one that I don't like on every pile of wood. I'm just going to take this one. And I'll take that one out. Okay, so these are all set up good. It's a nice, kind of a nice size. It's a little small. We'll start walnut, cherry, maple, walnut, cherry, maple, walnut, cherry, maple, walnut, cherry, maple, and no, that's quite neat. I don't want to put it in there. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll start with cherry. I'll start with cherry. Cherry, walnut, maple. Cherry, walnut, maple. Cherry, walnut, maple. cherry, walnut, maple. It's a little bad, this last one right here. Cherry. So yeah, that looks about good to me. Let's get to the glue up.
Soundstripe. Soundstripe.
Okay, so what I've done here, I've got these, they're called call boards to keep everything flat. And there was a couple stubborn ones. I got this side all flat, then these didn't come out flat, so I took these clamps and flattened the boards that weren't flat by squeezing it like that. So I've got a couple clamps on here. I'm gonna put a bunch more on, and this will be the end of this video. Well, of this part of the video. I'm gonna be back tomorrow, which will be like a second for you, and this will be ready to plane, and it's gonna be nice and good. So yeah. A recommendation is using Type Bond 3 for your glue for a cutting board. And that's just because it's waterproof, FDA approved, and it doesn't like fall apart when it hits the water, because if you're gonna clean your cutting board. And these call boards also keep it from warping over the time of the glue up, because the clamps have a lot of pressure. So that's all for right now. Thank you, and I'll see you in a second. Alright, so it is the next day now, and I'm gonna unclamp this, hook up my dust collector, and then plane it down. Okay, let's see. Almost an inch here. We're gonna have to put it on the planing sled because I know it's not flat. Without it, yeah, that's not flat enough. So, yeah, I'll get you on the GoPro here. This is what I have now. I hot glued it down, and I put shims on either end where it was bouncing. And I've got my dust collection hooked up to my DeWalt planer. We're gonna run it through there, get this side perfectly flat, and then flip it over without this, without the planer sled, and then it's gonna be time to cut it up and ready for making the other glue up. So yeah, basically what this is doing, if without the planer sled, well, the planer sled is perfectly flat, it's plywood, but it sits against the reference side of the planer right here. And if I didn't have the planer sled, this rocked, it would rock with it like this, so this wouldn't be a flat side. So that's why I have the planer sled. Let's get to that.
to leave this town, cause lately I've been feeling down. The cold nights just don't feel the same. Oh, like my life inside a car. Hit the button, drive real far. Put that record on me like. Oh, I'm dreaming of you. I dream of a new life. Fight in the dark till we see the sunlight. My love, it's you and I. Close, close and could light this fire. So reach for the stars, cause we're aiming high.
Okay, so I got them all cut up into 3/4 inch pieces, and so they start out like this, right? And they're all in a line like this. But what you want to do is flip them on the end grain, all of them, and then every other one you want to flip. So then that's how you get your checkered effect. So yeah. Let's get to the glue up now. And I'm not going to record that because it's just more editing. Okay, so I got it out of the clamps and I scraped a little bit of glue off. It's looking pretty good, but it's not very flat yet. So obviously I'm going to take it to the planer, but I'm going to put it on the planer sled. And right here, there's gaps, but it's not going all the way through. It's just going about 1/8 of an inch in, which I can take that all off, but it's gonna make it really thin then. If you look down here, you might be able to see the curving. Right down here, curves out. But yeah, let's try it through the planer sled and see what that does. Alright, so I just planed the first side, and I can already tell right on the end pieces, right here, it's cracking on the edge, and this piece right here, and then there's one more over here. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to cut off the end pieces and hope that the other side doesn't have it coming through, and if it doesn't, then I might not have to cut it off. I think the end pieces I will have to cut off. So yeah. I'll get to the next side of planing, I guess. So as you can see, we have a lot of chip out right here. We're just gonna cut this side right there at the seam. And we'll do it to this side too because there's cracks on the ends. But anything that has cracks in the middles, I will fill with epoxy. So there's a crack right there. Not a crack, it's just a little gap. But yeah. Okay, so I got these two ends trimmed up. They're nice and square. But this side is really, really messed up. And with this side too, there's a gap right there. So I'm just gonna cut these two end pieces off. Or these ones right here. First I'm gonna have to square up one side because there's hot glue on the side. And then I'll cut the rest off, but flip it over and then do it again. I put on the other coat, I have to put my burner in here. Let's see here, where should I put it? Dead middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That didn't work too great. I had to sand it out and redo it. Because all the mineral oil boiled up. Okay, I'm gonna redo that. So when I was burning it in, since there was mineral oil on top, there was moisture in the wood, and then the heat made it expand and contract, and then it split. So I think I'm gonna cut out something around the borders with the router bit, like this, with my router, and then once I get my epoxy in, I'll fill it in as an inlay. That'll make it look really cool, but I wish I thought about that. So, yeah. Alright, so I marked out my lines right here. They're about that wide. I'm going to take a straight bit and then cut it out all the way around. Okay, so I got the groove in it. It's about a 1/4 inch deep, and I had to take 2 passes all the way around, and I was using a 1/4 inch bit, so it took a very long time. I've been down here for 2 hours doing this, but once I get my epoxy in, which will be a few days, I will fill it in. I'm not sure what color yet, but yeah. So this is the finished product. I have like a salmon color and then blue on top of that. And tomorrow we'll come back and sand off the excess, and it'll be really hard. So this is a slow hardener, so it's still easy to work with sometimes. And I got the quart size, so it's $57. It looks a little bit bigger on camera, but it's really small. And yeah, so see you tomorrow then.